Back to life. Helping the working community get back to normal. Helping the community restore faith in the environment. Just like that, we've lost our sense of freedom. The freedom to roam our now empty streets, for our children to swing in playgrounds. Markets are closed, restaurants bare, and the thought of interacting in public is met with fear. Yet we all adjust in our own way. We are a diverse team weaving a solution in 48 hours to help people get back to normal lives. Jeremy has a medical background with 20 years' experience in safety, health and environmental management systems and standardization development. Carl is a psychologist who works with children and families and understands stresses this time has. Martin is a software developer with a range of expertise. Communities need assurance that they are working in a society with good hygiene measures that are appropriate to current risk levels. How do we validate that locations in our environment are safe to go back to? Re-emerging cases, mutant strains and other more contagious pathogens could perpetuate lockdowns. Australia is a vast continent and the lockdown should not be on or off, but an active continuum based on risk levels presented in certain regions and situations. Our smartphone app enables individuals to contribute real-time data towards risk-based decision-making. Individuals are guided through a quick and easy-to-use assessment of their local environment. As the lockdown is lifted, users are invited to contribute to assessments at critical control points if and when they're in those zones. The risk levels for a particular locale determines the parameters for observation. Observations that indicate standard practices are forwarded to the relevant agencies. Examples of critical control points are airports, major bus stations, shipping ports and major train stations. The public needs assurance that something is being done at these points to restore confidence and to remind ourselves to take precautions to control future outbreaks. Our app is designed to enable members of the public to provide their observations, to enable decision makers to communicate about efforts, and to help us assess our local environment. We want members of the public to contribute their own observations and integrate data from actual cases to help things return to normal. This data will need to be continually validated once the lockdown begins to be lifted. We can foresee a time where real-time data can be used to calculate changing risk levels. Geo-tracking can be used along with personal sensors to identify infection clusters. Information collected by the app is integrated with actual case data collected by government agencies. The data dashboard allows users to zoom into their own communities to gain a perspective on the risk levels around them. Geolocation data can be captured in an opt-in basis with a choice of how often it is captured. Users can voluntarily release this data should they be tested positive. It's important as people can remain asymptomatic, but the infection phase can last 2 weeks. Privacy and security of how this data will be handled is paramount for user trust. BackToLife will be ready to integrate data from wearable devices to highlight zones where potential clusters of cases are or have broken out by maintaining real-time oversight of skin temperature data, for example. We've had some challenging problems to think about, for example, how to promote engagement among the public to contribute observations at critical control points. We'll need endorsement and sponsorship from various safety and standards organisations. There are other apps that crowdsource data but do not have the same application as BackToLife. BackToLife supports hygiene and safety responses in a pandemic or crisis. Our app provides knowledge and reassurance now and in the future. It will enhance people's quality of life. It will allow people to make those steps necessary to reintegrate in a world in a safe manner. Let's not just flatten the curve, let's turn around and reverse this boring old lockdown.